What up? This is DJ Spin So Nice, aka Joseph, and welcome to Record Skool. Welcome back. It's been a while since I've done a Record Skool video. It's summer 2021. A lot of things are happening, and I'm well. I hope you're well. But the point is, I'm back. I wanted to touch on the new Nas album, and this week in hip hop, it's been a pretty dope week. We just got to see an amazing verses with the Locks and the Diplomats, and I want to just this is all about records, so I want to just shout out the Diplomats for being dope and keeping it true and keeping it funky, and it gives me a chance to show off my Diplomatic Immunity album. All record collectors should take this, but we know that the Locks won that battle. The Locks were the champions of that event, and Jadakiss is definitely one of the top 5 MCs of rap history. I don't think he has the best songs as someone like Nas, Biggie, or Jay-Z, but he definitely has the matching rap ability as an MC. Jadakiss is absolutely incredible, and that was a pleasure to watch. That was an incredible versus, so shout out to the Locks. The great news is that Nas dropped a new album a couple days ago called King's Disease 2. And I feel that it's even better than King's Disease 1. And that's cool because you have dope King's Disease 1. You have King's Disease 2 that's even tighter in terms of the songs and the lyrical, well, the bars, of course, and just the concepts. And it gave me a chance to think about how, take it back to Illmatic. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about One Love and the song Nobody, okay? This is all going to come together. So we're going to get into Record Skool now. Get ready to go to school. First thing is, I think everybody should listen to Illmatic at least once a year. If you love good music, especially if you're a part of this hip-hop culture, you should listen to this album once a year just to refresh yourself at how deep and how perfect it is. You should do that. I do that. My favorite song from Nas is One Love. The reason that song is my favorite is because it is such a powerful message to his homie, and also describing the effects of mass incarceration on his people, on himself, and on families, and then the families around him. But also, it's written in a letter format that's so heartfelt and so deep, and it goes in so many levels, right? Now, I'm just gonna go through a couple verses real quick. The first verse, we know he's writing a heartfelt letter to his boy in jail. You know, what's up with Cormega and everybody else, right? The second verse is when he starts talking about the effects of his homie in jail on himself and also on the families around him. Now, the second verse, he's talking about, your brother's buck wildin' in Fort Maine, he wrote me. And then the last little line, he talks about, I hate it when your mom's cries. Kind of makes me want to murder, for real. I even got a mask and gloves to bust slugs, but one love. He's talking about now, not just a letter to his boy, but he's talking about, I hate it when your mom's cries. So he's talking about how he feels about his friend's mother's pain. And he's not just saying your mom was crying, he's saying, I hate it when your mom's cries. He's talking about how his feelings and his reaction to his mother's friend's pain. Maybe his mother, maybe he looks at that lady as an auntie or a grandmother or another mother. Basically, he's expressing his feelings about family members. That's vulnerability. And then he's expressing his own feelings about his mom's boy's pain. And I think that's really deep, and I think that's really powerful, because it's not just a letter between himself and his friend in jail. He's talking about how everyone's being affected. And then how he's being affected. He says, it even makes me want to murder. I even got a mask and gloves to bust slugs. He's talking about the stress that he's going through out here in the world and what he feels like he might do. But thank God, he just says, he ends the verse by saying, but one love. This is from 1992. This is my favorite Nas song, and this is deep. This is vulnerability, and this is talking about stuff that we rarely get to hear on this level in terms of reacting to pain and trauma, specifically being isolated from your boy who's in jail and having to support the family and being on the brink of, committing another crime. And he's able to just keep it together with this motto, this mantra he says, one love, which I think is very deep, and I could go on and on and on about it. And I'm going to make a connection as well. The third verse, he's talking about, obviously there's there's a beautiful exchange between him and Shorty Wop on the bench. At the end of the third verse, he ends the song so brilliantly. But do you remember the story? So the third verse is another story. Oh my gosh, the song is so amazing. The third verse is another story in itself. But he says, sometimes I sit back with a Buddha sack. Shout out to Buddha in the background. Minds in another world, thinking how can we exist through the facts written in school textbooks, Bibles, etc. F a school lecture, the lies get me vexed up. So I be ghost for my projects. He takes a vacation. He's got to leave. I take a pen and pad for the weekend, hitting L's while I'm sleeping. A 2-day stay, you may say I needed time alone to relax my dome. No phone, left at 9 at home. The stress that he's dealing with and he's talking about in the whole song, by verse 3, Nas takes a break. He leaves for a 2-day stay by himself with some herb, and that's it. He takes a break. And then he comes back afterwards and he talks to the shorty and etc. And it's powerful and it's brilliant. But I wanted to talk about the 2-day stay and use that to make the link between that part, the last verse in One Love, and this track that everyone's talking about, Nobody, featuring Miss Lauryn Hill. Wow. Thank you, Nas. Thank you, Lauryn Hill. I have been, salute to Nas, salute to Lauryn Hill. Let's just pause for a second, because Nas and Lauryn Hill have put together another track, and it's amazing. It's very brilliant. It's very powerful. So that deserves some mentioning. Okay, let's talk about Nobody. Now, in the third verse of One Love, he talks about taking a 2-day stay to get away from some of the stress and deal with some of the stress. And that's exactly what this song is talking about. How many years later, 25 years later, they make a song together and they're talking about the same kind of thing in a bigger, fuller way of doing it, which is pretty amazing. It's pretty dope. The verse says, what is it? The verse, one city, one place, one place to escape. Sorry, let me just make sure I get my one city, one country, one state. Some place to be nobody. This is something Nas has talked about, being able to find peace through solitude. It's interesting though, because Nas now, as well as Lauryn Hill, have the resources and have the status to escape, right? Somewhere where they have solitude. Because the flip side of being nobody inside of particularly the United States of America made me think of this. This is Mark Lamont Hill's book called Nobody, right? This is Record Skool, so we're going deep here. This is a situation where one, in particular Black Americans, can find themselves without status and be treated like nobodies. This is the book that was written in response to Michael Brown's shooting and the Black Lives Matter protests, and that summer where Michael Brown was killed in the uprising in Ferguson, and Black Americans being, relegated to second-class citizens in terms of the justice system and in terms of being shot down by police and left for hours in the streets, treated like they are nobody. This is the flip side, and I'm sure Mark Lamont Hill is going to have some commentary about Nas's track with Lauryn Hill called Nobody in connection with his book, because I think you have two different scenarios. But we're going to talk, so shout out to Mark Lamont Hill, you should get this book. But I just thought it would be amazing to comment on the Nas track. Shout out to Hit Boy. Thank you, Hit Boy, for making such great music for us. Over the past couple of years, it's something that we need, and it's amazing. The track is kind of a smooth laid out track, and I'm sure the whole internet and the whole hip hop world are dissecting it, which we should be, especially Lauryn Hill's verse. But yeah, I just thought it's interesting because Nas continues a small, very, very dense detail from One Love from 1992, and now he's still expanding on the idea on his newest album, King's Disease Part 2, with the idea of finding peace and escaping all the stress and escaping all the pressure. And it's interesting that, he puts that idea out there, and for everybody that has a chance to or has a need to find peace. I hope you can appreciate this song and find peace in your own way. And I thought Lauryn Hill's verse is incredibly powerful. And yeah, let me just get to that. Now, she has a couple lines where she just says, that's probably why they keep on telling me I'm needed to say, they put their words on me and they can't eat them now. That's probably why they keep on telling me I'm needed now. They try to box me out while taking what they want from me. I spent too many years living too uncomfortably. Ooh, I spent too many years living too uncomfortably. Now, Lauryn, I guess she's just speaking her truth and talking a little bit about, why she has kept distance from the music industry on her own terms for her own reasons and for her own sanity. And I've been kind of upset with Lauryn. I'm like, yo, Lauryn, you should make some more music. But in this song, I think she's really powerful. And I just think that Nas and Lauryn Hill deserve a lot of credit, and this song deserves a lot of attention. One of my favorite tracks. I haven't even finished listening to the whole album. I've just been thinking about this song. Now, in conclusion, what is this song what's the takeaway from this song? Nobody on King's Disease Part 2, where we can hear the earlier themes of the message from One Love, is that I think it's do what you need to do to find peace. I think it's do what you need to do to find peace, okay? Whether it's Nas writing the letter to his boy in jail, maybe to keep the unity there as much as possible, because when we are separated from each other, that causes distress. So I think Nas is trying to find peace by keeping communication and offer peace to his boy in jail by giving him some details and support in the form of a letter and news from back home, and supporting his family to when he says, I gotta be ghost from my projects and also come back and, school the young shorty that's on the block, pumping his loose cracks, to now Nas is a very successful hip-hop legend, entrepreneur, but he's still writing songs about doing what he needs to do to find peace. And we salute Nas for that. Listen to the song. Please link and subscribe to my channel. Record Skool is back. Not hopefully, I'm gonna be having some dialogue so I can, share some of these ideas and create a bit more conversation with some friends of mine and some important people. So holla back, listen to this album, tell me what you think, comment, like, subscribe. Peace. Check out Record Skool on IG and some of my other socials. Holla back. Peace.